Compliant, accessibility, and inclusivity on playgrounds. Whether you're starting new or redoing an older play area, you'll want to consider these terms as you plan a playground for children ages 2 and above. And there's no better way to illustrate those terms than with twin brothers, Connor and Carter, born 18 years ago.
I have twins, and one of them it's like cerebral palsy, and he's not only in a wheelchair. He can walk, but he's in a wheelchair a lot of times. And my other son's always, of course, been around him and sees nothing. You know, he plays with them, sees no difference, has no issues.
The starting point, the bare minimum for playground planning, is the Americans with Disabilities Act. The ADA covers most public spaces and most private ones. Unless it's your backyard, you pretty much have to make your play area ADA compliant. 1/4 of Americans have a disability of some form, either lifelong or temporary. Think pregnant women, people recovering from an injury, or older people who can't move around like they used to. So what makes a playground ADA compliant? Consider Carter. His physical challenges grew as he aged, but his options to play with Connor and other kids decreased.
At grade school here, there was a group of us that were like, how can we get even just a few pieces of equipment on the playground at school that kids with disabilities can play on, because there wasn't anything there. And then we learned about these grants.
It was a few $1,000s for a few pieces of equipment, but it was a start. ADA compliance requires an accessible path from the outside of the play area to the equipment inside, like this ADA wheelchair ramp over landscape borders. Another key component to ADA compliance is safety surfacing, rubber mulch, wood fiber mulch, or poured rubber surfacing. The surfacing should be inspected and maintained regularly to remain compliant. If you have an elevated playground structure like this, there is a specific formula for the number of ground level play components compared to the upper level. What are elevated components? Think slides, climbers, or monkey bars. Ground level components would include swings, merry-go-rounds, musical instruments, spring riders, spinners, and play panels. Lots of different options. At least half of all elevated components must be on a barrier-free travel path, reachable by ramps, transfer stations, or both. The number of elevated components determines the number and type of ground level components. Our online component calculator will do the math for you. It's a matter of numbers and variety. What makes a playground accessible? It goes beyond the guidelines of just being ADA compliant. Fully accessible play structures are made especially for physically disabled kids. Every component, above and below, is wheelchair accessible. And remember the calculator. Each type of ground level component, like swings, must include at least one similar component on an accessible path. For example, if the playground has 4 swings, at least one must be accessible. Merry-go-rounds that can be used by all kids, swings with wheelchair access, and poured rubber surfacing. All of them allow kids with disabilities easy access to a variety of playground equipment. This is Carter's first time on the wheelchair swing. HC Park in Peru, Indiana is the perfect example of an inclusive playground. Inclusive playgrounds are designed so children of all abilities can access and play side by side on all of the equipment. Spring riders, merry-go-rounds, various types of swings, including one for wheelchairs, tells kids everybody plays, and plays together as they wish. Ramps and poured-in-place rubber surfacing complete the package. Every challenge is considered. Noah has several: CP, sensory issues, and he's on the autism spectrum. Poseidon's Hideout provides activity and sensory stimulation outside and in, offering a quiet, shaded space filled with sensory panels. He can relax, recharge, then play again.
A lot of kids that don't have a disability have questions, or they're scared. They don't want to come near the kids with disabilities because they don't know what to do, don't know how to interact, don't know how to play with them. And so this gives that opportunity that they can come in and just see them playing like every other kid wants to play.
Building new or redesigning existing playgrounds can be a challenge. Do you meet only the minimum ADA standards or make it accessible to the greatest possible number of users? Cost, access, use. AAA State of Play can help you navigate all those points between ADA compliant and inclusive.